Hey guys, welcome to Blazing Guitars, where we talk about worship gear, music, guitar, and everything in between. My name is Blaze Nelson, and today I wanted to talk about stage presence. Before we jump into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment below. And if you'd like to support what I'm doing at the channel, liking and subscribing is a great way to do that. Leaving comments is a great way to do that. But I also have a Patreon, which is linked below. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so stage presence is kind of an interesting topic when you think about it in terms of worship. Because on one hand, you don't want to be too flashy and too showy and maybe make people think that you have a pride issue or that it's all about you. And then on the other hand, you also don't want to make it look like you're mourning somebody. So there's a fine line in between that, and it's important to try to figure out what that looks like for you. So I have a couple thoughts just practically on this. The first thing that I would make sure is that you have an authentic relationship with God, and that's not just a moment that happened years ago, but that's an ongoing piece of your life. So make sure that you're having daily quiet times, make sure that you're in prayer, make sure that you're engaged in community and not just showing up when you play at church, but also just engaged in the life of the church. Because then what happens is that gives you an authentic faith, and that gives you power behind what you're singing because you're experiencing those things. So the first thing that I would do just right out the gate is to make sure that your relationship with God is in a good spot. The second thing that I would do, and we've talked about this a little bit before, is memorize your music. Make sure that you know the songs and know the words really, really well before you go in on Sunday morning. Because what can happen is you can be so focused on not messing up that you can look completely miserable. But if you have your stuff memorized, you can engage with the audience and you can engage with other band members, you can pray, you can close your eyes, you can do all kinds of stuff. It just opens up a whole world of opportunities for you. So make sure that you have your music memorized. And the third thing I would do is to make sure that you have a really good relationship with your pastor. Just as you do life, people are going to question your motives, and people are going to question the songs that you do and the music that you do. And that's okay. That's a totally natural part of church life. But if you have a really good relationship with your pastor and an open relationship with your pastor, then what that can do is that allows your pastor to speak on your behalf. And so if somebody comes and says, man, I'm not so sure about this brother's heart, what that allows is for your pastor to then have your back and say, no, I know this brother and I know his heart, and he's in a good spot. So just having a good relationship with your pastor can help cover you in a lot of different ways, but it also just keeps an honest, open communication with them as well, which can help just in general. So a couple practical ideas I would have on stage presence is to practice in front of a mirror or practice in a scenario where you can consistently see yourself. So it's really important to have a clear understanding and a clear grasp of what you look like on a Sunday morning. Because if you don't know what that looks like, then it's easy for your head version of you to be very different than your real life version of you. So I know a lot of churches are live streaming. A great example would be to watch your previous live streams and see how you look on stage. You can also do this in front of a mirror and just practice a little bit and just try to look loose and try to look comfortable. And I know trying to look loose and comfortable often means that you don't look loose and comfortable. But as you practice it, then it can help you just be more available to engage with people on stage and more available to engage with God on stage, especially if you're loose and comfortable. The second thing I would do is try to be really authentic in what you're singing. Now, song selection can be a big deal. A lot of churches can have a lot of culture and identity in the songs that they do. So you might not be able to throw out songs willy-nilly or to pick songs willy-nilly. But I found that I can really, if I'm truly authentically worshiping, then it automatically makes my stage presence look better. So pick songs that you are really connecting with, especially if you're the worship leader and you have that freedom. Pick songs that have been meaningful to you so that you can then bring that to the church, and you're being authentic. It's not a show. You're truly expressing who you are. So like I know that there's songs that I've done where when I first heard them a couple times, I've cried at them because they've been so meaningful and impactful to me. And then when I brought it to the church, and whatever comes out of me is truly authentic, because it's not this show, it's not this thing that I'm trying to force out of myself. It's something that I'm truly connected with. So we did a song called All I Need by Citizens recently, and the first couple times I heard that song, it just broke me down. And when I brought it to the church, it was really cool because I was able to express it And I got emotional even when explaining it to the church, but they could tell it was authentic. And then whatever happened after that, they knew, wow, Blaze is really engaged in what's happening here. He's not trying to fake it. So just as you're thinking about stage presence, my encouragement would be to be as authentic as possible and to do things that help you be as authentic as possible. The opposite of showmanship and showboating is authenticity. So as a worship leader, and when you're thinking about stage presence, I would really, really, really encourage you to focus on how you can truly be authentic while being on stage. That would just help your whole congregation have a better worship experience because you're worshiping. So don't fake it, be truly authentic in what you're doing. And then finally, if this all sounds really, really challenging, I just encourage you to smile a little bit, just to make eye contact with people and smile and be warm and welcoming. Think about if you walked into your church, what you would want to see the band do. And you would want to see warm, smiling faces that are engaged with the audience. So if this all sounds really scary and really intimidating, just try smiling a couple times this week and see if it helps. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, leave a comment below, or video suggestions would be great as well. You can leave a comment below and we'll see what we can do about it. And as always, thanks for watching. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. Have a good week.